Tonight, a verdict delivered.
A successful prosecution is not measured solely by whether there are guilty verdicts at the end.
An emotional day inside a London courtroom as the 5 former world junior champions accused of sexual assault are acquitted.
The public narrative of this event was, until this trial, one-sided and untested.
And the Crown Attorney knowingly forged ahead with a hopeless prosecution.
Full coverage on the judge's decision and what comes next.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Not guilty on all counts. The verdict from the judge today at the World Junior Sexual Assault trial. Each of the 5 former players accused of sexual assault were acquitted today, and our Nick Paparella was at the courthouse when the decision was delivered.
While handing down her 3.5-hour decision, Justice Maria Carrasilla wasted little time on telling the court which direction she was leaning towards. Within minutes, she said the complainant, who can only be identified by the initials EM, wasn't being entirely truthful when testifying, saying, "I did not find the evidence of EM to be reliable or credible." And therefore, she said, the Crown cannot meet its onus on any of the counts before me. The main issue in this lengthy trial was whether or not there was consent between the 5 former Canadian World Junior hockey players who were in London attending a gala and the lone female complainant. They were all in room 209 at the Delta Armories Hotel in June of 2018 after partying all night. The judge said EM was acting in a sexually forward manner. She communicated her willingness to engage in sexual activity. And when it came to the Crown's claim that the female was too drunk to consent, Justice Carrasilla said when she reviewed the videos from the bar where they had been drinking and the hotel, EM does not show any signs of impairment, walking and dancing without difficulty. She went on, "In my view, the complainant exaggerated her intoxication." In the end, the judge found Alex Formanton, Dylan Dubé, Carter Hart, Cal Foote, and Michael McLeod all not guilty of sexual assault, with McLeod having the additional charge of being a party to the offense being dismissed. Outside the courthouse, there was reaction to the not guilty verdicts.
The Crown's goal throughout this proceeding has been to see a fair trial. A trial that is fair to the men charged, and one that is also fair to EM.
Despite her feeling like this was the hardest thing she's ever had to do, she chose to persevere and continue with the process of seeking justice.
After the decision was handed down by Justice Carrasilla, there was a collective sigh of relief in the body of the courtroom, with the players hugging their lawyers and family members. Later, the media was told the players would not be making any public statements, but their lawyers did.
Nobody in room 209 that night has emerged unscarred from this event. The criminal court process is a bruising experience for everyone, but never more than when a case as high profile incorporates such high stakes. In Alex's case, he was condemned and felt banished from society. This experience for him has been crushing.
At the start of this trial, Cal Foote walked into this courthouse, an innocent man, and he walks out today exactly that. Cal never lost faith that justice would be done, despite the clamor of external pressures and agendas outside the courthouse doors.
This was a lengthy and complex process lasting more than 7 years. London police would originally close the case before reopening it after the female complainant settled a civil lawsuit with Hockey Canada in 2022.
For years, public perception was shaped by a one-sided narrative from a civil lawsuit that went unchallenged, in large part because Hockey Canada settled the claim without first informing or consulting the players. The decision was made unilaterally, and the players were only told of the lawsuit and the settlement after the fact.
Nick joins me on the desk now for more on this. So Nick, a big part of this decision seemed to come down to how intoxicated EM appeared to be. And I say appeared because the judge did not think the evidence supported those claims.
Well, Carlyle, Justice Garcia had access to all the videos. She was very thorough in her decision. She checked everything out. She checked out the video from the bar, Jack's bar. She checked out the video, when they were walking into the hotel. Each time, Justice Garcia said, the woman, the EM, the complainant said that she wasn't too intoxicated to consent, and that was the main issue in this case, too intoxicated to consent. But she found through those videos that she wasn't that intoxicated. She ran on stilettos chasing Michael McLeod, and then as they entered the Delta Armories, there was a video of her and McLeod, and then when she left at night, she wasn't stumbling. So, I mean, that's what really came down to. And the bottom line with this case, very, very disturbing, but Justice Garcia found that it wasn't criminal.
All right, Nick Paparella, thank you very much for your continuing coverage of this ordeal. We are moving on now to the reaction. There's plenty of that because throughout the trial there were crowds of protesters outside the courthouse heckling the players as they arrived, voicing support for the complainant. As Lauren Stallone reports, there was disappointment in the verdict today and concern for what it might mean for victims of sexual assault.
Hundreds of protesters gathered outside a London, Ontario courthouse Thursday morning before the judge ruled each of the accused not guilty in the sexual assault trial of 5 former World Junior players.
Frustrated, but not surprised.
Supporters of the complainant, known as EM, say they want her to know she's not alone.
There are people that believe her and still believe her. And as well, in addition to that, there are survivors from coast to coast to coast who are watching this happen. There are people who have not disclosed their experience of sexual violence who are watching this happen.
Jesse Roger, executive director of ANOVA, a victim services center, says the verdict will not only impact EM, but prevent victims from coming forward in the future.
If we can counter that with letting people know that there are people who believe you, there are people who will support you, I think that's what we're hoping for.
Jennifer Dunn with the London Abused Women's Centre says while she is disappointed by the judge's decision, she is also concerned.
For all survivors that have either attempted to go through the criminal justice system or were thinking about it, I think this puts us quite a few steps back.
Dunn says we need to work as a community to end violence against women.
It's more than just the verdict. It's more than what you've seen happen play out in this courtroom. It's about community, it's about courage, it's about strength.
You are loved! Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
And I'm joined now by local defense lawyer Nick Cake, who has shared his insights with us throughout this case. And Nick, I want to start with the burden of proof because it is on the Crown to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. And when it comes down to this case, it obviously was not met by the Crown, at least in the judge's decision. In your opinion, how close did the Crown get to proving beyond a reasonable doubt with that threshold?
Honestly, I don't think they got very close at all. EM's evidence was marred with inconsistencies. It didn't compare, what she was saying didn't compare to the objective videos that were presented. And ultimately, when Her Honor Carrassia, when she evaluated the credibility and the reliability, I don't think it was very difficult for her to reach the verdict that she did, which was clearly that the Crown did not meet their onus. It's a high threshold to meet, and respectfully to those Crowns who worked very diligently, I always used to say when I was a Crown attorney, I don't build the planes, I just try to fly them. And you never know what you're going to get. And in this case, they didn't get very much. They tried to do what they could with it, but they didn't get to the finish line.
And they were arguing in front of a judge only because, and that leads into my next question about how this decision was made. It was a judge-only decision. It's not like they didn't try to make this a jury trial, though. 2 mistrials leading into this. In your vision, did that maybe impact one way or the other about the likelihood of a conviction here or not? How did this, alter the direction of this case once we learned that it was going to be a judge only?
Well, it's not the Crown actually that gets to pick jury trial. It's the defense. So the defense elected. So the defense picks the venue. The Crown then just plays within it. But they obviously had set their case up to present to a jury. And then we had the mistrial, and then we had the almost mistrial, and then the agreement between the parties that they would then proceed by way of a judge alone trial. And I think that definitely does change the landscape landscape. Because ultimately, as much as we don't want to say it happens, a jury may be influenced by their own personal beliefs, their own personal opinions, whereas a judge is duty-bound to set their opinions beside and apply the facts to the law. So frankly, I'm happy that it went judge alone, because not only do we get a balanced decision, but we also get that roadmap. I mean, Her Honor spoke for 5 hours today.
Long day.
Right? She came off the block and said what we all wanted to hear, and then spent the rest of the day explaining that. And if it was a jury, we actually wouldn't get that. All we would get is the jury coming back with a guilty or a not guilty, and that's it. And then they leave, and we can't ask them any questions. So at least here, we saw what Her Honor was thinking. She essentially showed her work. This was her conclusion, and here's how I got there, which is what everyone needed to see, because justice needs to be seen to be done as well, right?
If I have one, maybe just a summary question, what is your biggest takeaway from this whole process? Because it is years in the making, a months-long trial and decision process. What stands out to you the most as we sit here with a verdict now?
I think just the fact that from day one, the media was attached to this, and everyone got to see what a criminal trial was all about. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, the emotion within it, and everyone got to look at that every day as it played out, not only in the courtroom, but in the media. So I think it was a great opportunity for the public to see what we do every day.
For sure. All right, Nick Cake, a criminal defense lawyer here in London. Thank you so much for insights throughout this trial. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Good evening. I'm meteorologist Gary Archibald for CTV News. An expansive cold front is working its way across the upper Midwestern USA. Across the Great Lakes, we are in and out of severe thunderstorm watches and warnings. Significant rainfall, damaging winds potentially, nickel-size hail, and of course, we're talking about frequent lightning. This particular system will drag right through the heart of southern Ontario in the next, say, 5 to 6 hours. And with that significant rainfall, as mentioned, we're concerned about area ponding. I'll break down what you need to know, see if this cold front ushers in a more, well, agreeable air mass. It's all coming up next on CTV News.
Thank you, Gary. Officials with local business improvement agencies say they're considering expanding their boundaries. Daryl Newcomb has more on the changing needs for London's commercial districts.
At present time goes basically from Adelaide Street here to Charlotte Street.
The Old East Village Business Improvement Area is looking to expand beyond its current boundary, and in doing so, automatically make more businesses members.
We have a minimal amount of businesses left in this district at the moment because we have such a high concentration of social service providers. Yet the businesses still want a strong voice. They want an advocacy group like a BIA.
Businesses within the boundary of a BIA pay an additional levy on their property tax bill. According to Kevin Morrison, the total levy received by the OEV BIA is currently just $42,000 a year. So he'd like to see the BIA extend from Adelaide all the way to Highbury between the two railway lines. That would add big businesses like 100 Kellogg, as well as many small and mid-sized members.
I've gone to the planning department with and have received confirmation that they really can't get going until 2026 because other BIAs are in that process.
Earlier this year, the Hyde Park BIA in Uptown London appeared at City Hall with its initial proposal for a boundary expansion. And the Hamilton Road BIA is potentially next in line, according to Councillor Hadley McAllister, who sits on that board.
They're looking at a few options, but we wanted to get that process going because a levy, you could bring that into effect for, say, next year, but an expansion, you are looking, a year, sometimes even 2.
Here in the Argyle BIA, they're not looking to expand their boundary at this time, but instead expanding by offering their services to non-member businesses for a fee.
What you find in municipalities across Ontario, as a municipality grows, so too must the organizations that are operating within the municipality.
I think there's really strength in numbers, and there's a lot of cost savings in terms of when businesses in an area can band together, whether that's for advertising, for security, property improvements, beautifying the area.
Expanding the boundary of a BIA requires a vote by businesses within the current and new area. Then it must be approved by City Council. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Strathroy-Caradoc municipal councillors have asked for a staff report looking into a possible green bin program. If approved, the program could be up and running by the end of next year. The province has population requirements of at least 100 people per acre to qualify for the program. Municipal officials say thanks to current waste management cost savings, the hit to taxpayers would be minimal to implement a green bin program. 10,000 homes in the Strathroy and Mount Bridges area would be eligible.
The program will only be mandated to be implemented in the urban areas. In the rural areas, I don't believe there's really a benefit. Anyone who wants to compost and has, a quarter or half an acre is going to be doing that already.
The president of Fanshawe College says the school is moving forward with layoffs, cutting nearly 400 positions, about 35% of its workforce. In an email to staff today obtained by CTV London, the president says Fanshawe has shared details of the layoffs with faculty and support staff unions this week. Union officials say the vast majority of these losses will be through early retirements and unfilled vacancies. The most recent numbers suggest Fanshawe is facing a nearly $40 million budget shortfall for the next school year. Officials have blamed in part the federal government's cap on international student permits. Another milestone reached today for a home building project on the Oneida Nation of the Thames.
Creating a home for a family to feel safe, to feel proud, and us as partners and having that relationship with each and every one of you is great and acknowledgeable. So I'd like to acknowledge all that too and say thank you, Yawango, in our language, to say thank you.
Supporters and sponsors were given a tour today through the latest Imagine Build structure, number 5 so far for the grassroots charity. Officials say they've raised more than $1 million for the project. Contributions can be made at theimaginebuild.com.
So this is house number 5 with the Imagine Build. This is going for a single father family and his 3 children in the community. Then this is going to be able to kind of give them that home base and kind of really set them up. So ideally we can have them in by, September we're hoping for, and give those kids a fresh start for the new school year.
The 2027 International Plowing Match and Rural Expo will be held in southwestern Ontario. Officials announced today the community of Brigden will host the show in Lambton County. Lambton last hosted the IPM in 1991. Officials say they're putting together dozens of committees to organize the event with an anticipated economic impact of $25 million. They're also hoping the proximity to the U.S. border will help boost attendance.
We think we've got lots of great agriculture that takes place in Lambton. It's diversified. There's various types of agriculture, and we think we're a great place to be. And at the end of the day, we just hope to have 100,000 plus people, and I think that is will be a great match for us if we can accomplish that.
Coming up, the latest on a trade deal deadline between the U.S. and Canada. The American ambassador suggesting the goalposts may have shifted again. Plus, as wildfires rage across the country, Labatt pitches in with canned fresh water for overheated firefighters.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
The Hayloft Music Festival is set to take over Listowel on Saturday, August 2nd with an all-Canadian lineup featuring Brett Kissel, Mackenzie Porter, the Prairie States, and more. Enter at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets.
The American ambassador to Canada says a framework for a trade deal between the U.S. and Canada may not happen by August 1st, but may come together in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Abigail Beeman has the latest on what is becoming an increasingly fluid deadline.
Dominic LeBlanc wrapped up Washington meetings, including with Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, for now.
We're going to continue to work towards the August 1st deadline. We're going to be back here again next week. But all of these deadlines are with the understanding that we'll take the time necessary to get the best deal.
While this Republican senator is less optimistic about the timing.
I wish that I could say it feels good that this is all going to be taken care of before the 1st of August, but I'm not sensing that.
Still, Canada is stressing there's progress, the ambassador pointing to the Prime Minister's announcement targeting cheap foreign steel imports.
The measures that Canada has taken on steel, in particular against anti-circumvention, are some of the strongest in the world, and that has been recognized and very much appreciated. So we're making some positive progress.
They say they're hurt and they were insulted, and it's kind of like, well, it's not a whole lot of people or countries that we've asked to become the 51st state that I can remember.
Meanwhile, we're hearing more from U.S. Ambassador to Canada, Pete Hoekstra. CTV News obtained the full video of his comments at a summit where he made headlines for this.
Well, there are reasons why the president and some of his team refer to Canada as being mean and nasty to deal with.
He also weighed in on that August 1st deadline.
Whether it's August 1, I don't see it extending a lot past that. I'd be surprised if we were still talking about it on September 1.
Ambassador Hoekstra also said he's optimistic about the future, but there needs to be more advocates for the Canada-U.S. relationship. From his position, 90 days into the job, he says there aren't any. As he put it, there are political parties saying elbows up and relative quiet from the business community. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
Labatt Canada is adjusting its production schedules to ship thousands of cans of drinking water to Ontario's north. As Corey Nordstrom reports, it's part of a project supporting communities dealing with wildfires.
Labatt Breweries is swapping out the hops for H2O. The Canadian beer maker is nearly ready to ship over 34,000 cans of clean drinking water to Northern Ontarians impacted by wildfires.
One of the biggest issues when disaster strikes is a lack of clean drinking water. And so for us at Labatt, we have the resources, we have the expertise, and it's all part of us giving back to these communities.
It's an effort Labatt has undertaken since 2012, partnering with disaster response specialist Team Rubicon in 2021. The company periodically filled these cans with drinking water, and the amount being shipped to Northern Ontario represents 3 hours worth of full production. Later this week, the delivery truck will make its way from Halifax to Ontario before heading to evacuees and firefighters.
We do expect to get the delivery sometime Thursday, and then we are hopeful that we can get it on our trucks as early as Friday to start moving it to Northern Ontario. From there, obviously, we'll wait for the green light once Team Rubicon has determined where the water is needed most.
There will be a delivery point established. There will be a transportation plan from that delivery point to a community in need, and then whether or not it is synchronizing those deliveries with available aircraft or available delivery, routes, we're assisting in various capacities to just make sure that that is as smooth and as timely as possible.
To date, Labatt has produced over 1 million cans of clean drinking water for those in need, most recently sending 40,000 cans to northern Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Yelich says delivery for this shipment is complicated, but she hopes that the water will make it up north by next week. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
And meteorologist Gary Archibald is with me tonight. Gary, the humidity did hit today here in London. You could certainly feel it, and that usually means there are thunderstorms in the offing.
You're right about that connection. Good evening, Carlyle. Good evening, folks. Heat and humidity, a very buoyant, energized atmosphere, and showers and thunderstorms. We're in and out of severe thunderstorm watches, meaning potential and warnings imminent, happening now. That's the story as I speak through to, say, 10, 11 p.m. tonight. Reached a high 32 to 33 degrees within the city limits. Our average high is 27. The humidity made it feel closer to 40. It was a very hot day. Now, did we break a record? We'll find out if we did indeed tomorrow with the official count from Environment Canada for a daytime high. So it feels warm across southern Ontario proper. It's going to continue to feel that way. Low 30s, feeling like the 40s. 45 is the humidex value in Windsor. It's feeling like 44 in Sarnia. Even Wyerton, 42. The winds will pick up, and we expect that with this movement, the cold air in place and that front, there's some instability that suggests the thunderstorms could be nocturnal along this boundary as it works its way across Michigan into southern Ontario. There will be residual effects behind the front. We call that post-frontal activity, and that means it extends this period of rain and/or thunderstorms through the overnight and perhaps into tomorrow morning as well. We need the rains, in fact. Lots of areas across southern Ontario, especially the agricultural areas, needing the moisture, no doubt. But the gusty winds, the hail, the frequent lightning, and some of those winds could be damaging. Not so great for everyone across the region. The heaviest rains will likely fall the eastern shores of Lake Huron further east towards the GTA and the Golden Horseshoe. If you have travel plans along the 400 series of highways tonight into early tomorrow morning, expect some rain indeed. Thundery weather Thursday into Friday as we go from very hot and humid to a bit cooler through the overnight tomorrow. We're still in a buoyant air mass. The thunderstorm risk or potential is in that 60% range from about 8, 9 o'clock through to early tomorrow morning pre-dawn. Tomorrow's also a cloudy day. We are not seeing a temperature in the low 30s. We'll be down to about 28 in the great city of London. Feels like about 37. More showers, mostly cloudy conditions Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and temperatures hovering around 30 degrees, if not slightly below, slightly above. Sunshine Wednesday and Thursday, and temperatures cooling. A week from now, we could be in the lower 20s. Similar looking forecast for the Midwest. Stormy night into tomorrow morning. The weekend's cloudy with showers, upper 20s expected. Temperatures falling off from Monday through to Wednesday, Thursday next week, and it's Wednesday and Thursday of next week we'll see some more sunshine and cooler below seasonal air. Thanks to our sponsors, of course, Metal Roof Outlet, for your 7-day outlook.
Later on CTV News, the end of an era in Listowel. The emotional final days as a multi-generational business ends production permanently.
Make sure you're listening tomorrow morning at 8:35. That's your final chance to win tickets to Lucknow's Music in the Fields.
Jordan Davis, Josh Ross, Owen Rigling, and you. Good luck.
The Canadian Independent Business Federation says the country's economic outlook is deteriorating. According to the organization's quarterly report, a 0.8% drop is expected for the second quarter before falling another 0.8% in the third quarter. If that happens, Canada would be in a recession. The report notes most businesses expect long-term supply disruptions thanks to tariffs and U.S. border delays. It also suggests there are roughly 400,000 vacant jobs in Canada's private sector right now. A century-old business in Listowel is closing down for good tomorrow. As Scott Miller reports, it's about to put more than 100 people out of work.
Deb Podorny and Anna Davidson are heading into some of their final shifts at Spinrite in Listowel. The co-workers have more than 75 years combined experience working at the legacy yarn maker.
It's devastating. I have known nothing but this since I was 17 years old. It's my life.
The production line at Spinrite will run for the last time on Friday after the company announced the closure of their Listowel manufacturing plant in May. Spinrite opened in 1952 in Listowel, growing to be one of the largest makers of yarn in North America.
Before that, it started in 1913 with Maitland Spinning Mills, so it's a legacy business. They're here in this area since, 112 years ago, so it's so sad to see.
Berkeley, who appeared in a promotional video for Spinrite just a few years ago, was laid off in January. She'll now be joined by 140 other production line workers, many of whom are generational Spinrite employees.
Spinrite has fed a lot of families. Both my mom and my sister worked here as well. So it is sad to see. It's time to move on, I guess.
We're all crying a lot. Yeah, it's very emotional. We spend more time with the people inside there than you actually do with the people you live with in your house.
Now, a handful of employees here at SpinRite will be staying on for the next couple of weeks to tie up loose ends, says Anna. But essentially, major production ends as of Friday. SpinRite's retail location will close too, but the Listowel Distribution Center will remain open, keeping a few people employed. But a far cry from SpinRite's peak employment in Listowel of more than 300.
It was comforting. I knew my job and I knew it well. And I'm going to miss that, and I have to start over.
A lot of us that were laid off earlier this year are still looking for work. And it's a small town, so there's few opportunities, but not many.
I just thought SpinRite would be here forever. And it's not going to be.
In Listowel, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Loblaw officials are reporting second quarter profits higher than they were a year ago. The grocery giant is reporting more customer traffic, buying more items compared to 2024. Same-store sales for food were up 3.5%, with revenue climbing to nearly $15 billion. Similar boosts were seen at drugstores and pharmacies. The provincial government announced new funding today aimed at improving Ontario's critical minerals supply chain. The initiative is called the Critical Minerals Innovation Fund, and the application process is now open. According to the Energy and Mines Ministry, $7 million will support projects looking at deep exploration in mining, mineral recovery, and the battery supply chain. Ministry officials say global demand is soaring for critical minerals, while U.S. tariffs target Canada's mining and manufacturing sectors. Tesla is reporting a 13% drop in sales for the start of the year. The electric car manufacturer shared the news on its earnings call, with analysts linking the drop to an aging vehicle lineup and brand damage from CEO Elon Musk's political involvement. Musk said on the call Tesla could see a few rough quarters as a tax break for EV buyers comes to an end south of the border. Tesla shares are down about 8% today. Losses in basic materials and consumer cyclicals helped drive Canada's main stock index lower. The TSX lost 44 points. In New York, the Dow dropped 316, the Nasdaq gained 38. The Canadian dollar down 1/10 cent today. On commodity markets, gold lost $24 an ounce. Oil added 78 cents a barrel. Still ahead, we'll look back on the life and career of wrestling superstar Hulk Hogan. Welcome back. 3 miners are trapped underground in BC. Officials with the company that owns the mine say they are behind 30 meters of debris, sheltering in a refuge chamber right now.
There's water, there's food, and there's compressed air feeding that refuge station. So with that, it's all the basics you need to sustain life.
A remote-controlled scoop has begun removing the debris. Teams are also restoring a specialized communication system to reestablish contact with them. They've been trapped at the Red Chris mine since yesterday after 2 rock falls. Officials say 2 of them are from BC, the other is from Ontario, and they don't believe any of them are injured. An intense wildfire has forced firefighters themselves from a northern Manitoba town. Municipal officials in Leaf Rapids say the wildfire jumped the Churchill River, forcing all emergency personnel to evacuate the community. They say crews may not be able to return for some time, and thick smoke might limit their ability to provide updates. Residents evacuated the town, taking shelter in Winnipeg earlier this month. A southwestern Ontario company is introducing new technology for Ontario surgeons. For some patients coming out of knee surgery, they can be up and walking again in as little as 30 minutes. Spencer Turcotte reports.
Our system is extremely robust and quite unique.
It's a groundbreaking innovation created by University of Waterloo alumni.
At IntelliJoint Surgical, we help orthopedic surgeons doing hip and knee replacements.
Armin McCurtsian co-founded the company in 2010, inspired by his father's work as an orthopedic surgeon. He saw gaps in care.
Of course, they're human. It's very difficult to measure degrees, single degrees, or single millimeters by eye, or using their training and their judgments.
So he created IntelliJoint, a sort of computer-assisted navigation system that improves surgical outcomes in hip and knee replacements.
Anywhere in the middle is good.
It uses a miniature optical camera to deliver real-time, precise measurements.
So at this point, then they would save.
It also reduces the need for invasive and costly repeat surgeries.
Patients don't have the wrong length of leg, for example, after surgery, which unfortunately does happen 50% of the time if technology is not used.
IntelliJoint's technology has been used in more than 70,000 surgeries in multiple countries over the last 15 years, but getting approval for use in Canada has taken time.
It's a difficult journey to be accepted by the Ontario healthcare system.
But recently, a big breakthrough.
We're very fortunate that our local hospital, Waterloo Regional, has access to IntelliJoint's technologies.
While access is limited across other health networks, they hope it'll continue to grow in the right direction. And their argument is simple.
If you have access to a ruler or to a level, why wouldn't you use it to put up a shelf? I mean, that's the logic that we use.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News, Kitchener.
We are excited for another summer weekend in the city. Always so many events to get to. It's time for your London List. We're joined by KP for Mornings on 97.5 Virgin Radio. The London List brought to you by Downtown London. And KP, there are tons of events going on downtown.
So many in downtown London. We have got the Home County Art and Music Festival that's happening all weekend in Victoria Park. This is a really fun one. I'm a big fan of those summer festivals that kind of span the entire weekend. You go, you get some good food, listen to some good music, browse the art, and just really unique finds there too.
All right, lots of things happening. Let's head to the Covent Garden Market.
This is Island Fest. So I went last year with my friend, and she introduced me to Rhodey for the first time, and it was so good. It was so good. I'm hooked now. So if you want to go and check out Island Fest, again, lots of dancing and live music. It's a really fun island vibe. It really is that. And again, lots of delicious food, including roti. So go and check that out.
And there's another festival downtown as well?
Yeah, this is the South Asian Festival. It's happening on Dundas Place. And same vibe, celebrating culture and music. They're going to have traditional music along with like EDM and trance, so a lot of different genres, and again, really, really good food. So looking forward to that.
Eat your way through the city.
I know, I love
weekend.
this. This is going to be so good.
Absolutely. Centennial Hall has a mom market.
Mom market, that's happening this weekend as well. This is exactly what it sounds like. A lot of awesome vendors, a lot of them being moms, selling really unique stuff, really cool one-of-a-kind pieces of art, jewelry, food, you name it. Definitely go and check that one out too.
Everyone knows that KP is a huge dog lover. There's an event going on in Dorchester.
I'm excited for this one. It's Pet Fest. It's happening all weekend long, so Saturday and Sunday at the Dorchester Fairgrounds, but it's huge. They have got everything there. Vendors selling all sorts of really cute stuff for your dogs and for the humans too, of course. Some yummy food. There's dock diving for the dogs. There's splash pads. Dock diving. And it's so cute. They've got all sorts of contests and stuff too. So definitely bring your fur babies out. Have a time. And that's happening Saturday and Sunday. Tickets are $10.
All right, and let's wrap it up with a baseball game.
Yes, we've got the London Majors back to downtown London at Labatt Park on Sunday. First pitch is 4:05 as they take on Brantford.
All right, thanks so much, KP. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time on the London List.
Welcome back. The Ontario NDP leader is touring the province this summer, meeting with residents and hearing their concerns about the challenges facing them.
The point is to actually bring politics to the people, get out there and actually listen to where people are at. I think if you listen to the Premier, most of the time you'd think everything was A-OK in the province of Ontario, and it certainly is not. Whether it's the job losses, permanent job losses that we're already seeing as a result of the tariffs, or the hospital closures in communities like Thessalon in Northern Ontario or right here in Southern Ontario. There are some really big issues that people are grappling with. And for most people, it's about, just getting through the day. Things are pretty tough out there, and I'm looking as well for solutions because I think the solutions are out there in Ontario among the people of Ontario.
Premier Doug Ford has repeatedly said he views U.S. tariffs and trade tensions as a major threat to Ontario's economy. He weighed in on the issue at this week's First Minister's meeting.
I don't trust President Trump as far as I can throw him. He constantly changes his mind. It's you just don't know who you're dealing with. He signed that deal with Japan at what was it, $550 billion they're investing. Well, last time I checked, Japan they buy about $79 billion of products off the U.S. We buy about $349 billion of products. So Japan and the rest of the countries around the world have quite a bit to catch up to what we purchase off the U.S.
A major focus of the First Minister's meeting was finding ways to boost trade within Canada. One of the most recognizable faces in wrestling for generations has died. Hulk Hogan dominated the ring for decades, later dabbling in film and TV, and more recently, he was an avid and vocal Donald Trump supporter before wrestling his own health issues. Genevieve Beauchemin looks back on the Hulk's life and career.
Hulk Hogan's legacy is tied to wrestling, of course, but ever the performer. He also took his trademark horseshoe mustache and bandanas to the music world and to TV and movie screens.
The ultimate male versus the ultimate meatball.
Including in Rocky III, that propelled him to stardom. Hogan was born Terry Jean Bolea in Georgia, the son of a construction worker and a dance teacher. He built that massive physique and earned his stage name. As fellow wrestlers commented, he was bigger than Lou Ferrigno, who played Hulk on TV.
Look at this!
He then slammed his way to the very top of worldwide wrestling stardom, at his peak defeating Andre the Giant with a body slam. He often leaned into the ring persona of a flag-waving, heroic All-American.
Eat your vitamins, be true to yourself, true to your country, be a real American.
Though he also later played a villain, as both he had fans around the globe, including Montreal, where in 1997, Jacques Rougeau became the only Canadian wrestler to land a win against Hogan.
The greatest of all times, Hulk Hogan. And I love you, Hulk.
Rougeau last saw his friend 6 months ago as they signed championship belts.
He signed it in my name. He says, "You're the only one who beat me in Canada." He says, "You deserve this belt."
Hogan was admired by many but faced several controversies. In 1994, he was forced to admit in court to years of steroid use and later to apologize for a racist rant caught on video. Through it all, though, his superstardom in and out of the ring remained embedded in pop culture. Hogan died at the age of 71 of cardiac arrest. Genevieve Beauchemin, CTV News, Montreal.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
Breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A development now to a story from City Hall we brought you.
Download the CTV News app.
Welcome back. There's a summer day camp in Edmonton right now with some Aussie flair. Amanda Anderson has more on the illustrating man from down under and the connection he's making with Canadian kids.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Come on, kids.
Within seconds, these kids are seated and eager to learn.
Hey, boys and girls, copy me step by step. Start by drawing the koala's very big nose.
Danny Cohen is showing them how to draw cartoons.
Everyone can draw. If you can write your name and you can draw a straight line and a circle and connect it together, you can draw. Big circle. Step 1.
With the help of a projector, Cohen walks the kids through each step.
He makes it really easy because it's like step by step. Like I learn lots of little techniques for drawing.
It's a cartooning summer camp with an Australian flair.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Well done, boys and girls.
The camp is put on by Cartoon Kingdom, Australia's largest cartooning company. This is Cohen's first time back in Edmonton since COVID hit.
We used to get 60, 70 kids a day. We're down to 20 kids a day, but I'm hoping to boost that up again. And, you know, when the word gets out, they'll bring their friends, and next year they'll come back again, and hopefully the numbers will double.
Cohen says his goal is to get the kids to enjoy disconnecting from technology.
I mean, it's a lot of just meeting new people, which it's fun to make new friends, and then it's kind of like a day of just doing, like, not work or anything, like, so you get to just have fun.
Not only do they draw, but I also believe in taking the kids outside and having fun. So we have a good balance. We're indoors, we're outdoors. It's a good mix, and the kids love it.
Some of the campers now find themselves drawing at home.
Last time I was here, I drew a lot of the things I learned. Afterwards, yeah.
I practiced, and then my mom's like, wow.
There's still spots available in Edmonton until Friday. Then this cartoonist will head to Fort McMurray for a weekend camp.
And I do these camps in 11 countries around the world, but I think Canada is my favorite.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, Edmonton.
And finally tonight, many Jays fans will be heading to Detroit this weekend for their series with the Tigers, and they'll probably take in a hot dog or two. When it comes to the ballpark dog, one team in Illinois is taking it to a whole new level. With more on a world record attempt, here's NBC's JC Narette.
Get your hot dogs
hot dogs right here. We're going all in Joliet. The Slammers looking to do something that no one has pulled off before. Setting the record for the most hot dogs dropped in an hour from helicopter. A wiener drop, if you will, 2,600 to be exact.
A bunch of people out here for $2.60, and it's just amazing.
This is like one of the best Slammer games I've ever been to. Hot dogs are going to be in the air. Honestly, I feel like it's the perfect day to do this. Perfect day.
Is this one of the best days of your life?
Yeah, probably one of the best days of my life.
You can't really blame Robert for being amped up. Thousands of flying dogs all falling from the heavens.
I'm willing to do anything, a backflip, anything, honestly.
For a hot dog?
Yes, for a hot dog.
The Slammers called, and the people came answering. There were those in love, and even the smallest of fans. A sellout crowd for this historic night. The folks here chowed down and washed it all down with $2 beers. The masterminds here, two legends, Bill Murray and Mike Veck. Veck no stranger to the game and unusual promotions. His dad owned the White Sox when they created Disco Demolition Night. He ensured us a much more tame night than the one at Comiskey back in '79.
I'm here just to make sure that if something goes sideways, he takes all the blame.
In the end, you can't really beat beer, baseball, and a hot dog unless trying to break a record while enjoying all three.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.